Okay, as you can see here, I've got the netting on the frame here. I just used my goop glue to stick it down, just tack down this stuff. I like this better than hot glue because one, I don't burn the crud out of my fingers, and this stuff just sticks to everything, and it doesn't get soft when it heats up. So basically, this is what I've got here, all just right now it's all soft. I kind of have it stretched over it, not terribly so, but as you can see, it's still still gauze pad. So what I'm going to do is start soaking it with the PVA and white glue, and just keep doing this. Let it dry, soak some more until I get a nice hard shell out of it, and then I'll probably do additional brushing and stuff like that. So my plan is that once this dries, this will then, like I said, give it a nice tough shell and make it much more durable. So, and then what I've got this on here is just a piece of plastic card. Actually, it's a for sale sign from the dollar store. This way, anything that goes on here, it's not going to really glue to it. I can pry it up, and if I want to, I can just wash it off and use it for whatever. So, but this will be my, basically this is what I'm going to leave it on as kind of the project board for it, and we'll go from there. Okay, here's another update for the camo netting to go on the ruined building. So this is after 2 coats of a PVA and water mixture on it, and then I just put a clear, I'm sorry about that, clear matte varnish, just the cheap Delta ceramic stuff, real inexpensive, to hopefully finish off the hard candy shell. So as you can see, though, it's glued. I've kind of molded it around and stuff like that to make it a little more interesting. The variations in kind of the dirty color, and I'm going to hit it with a little bit more airbrush to give it even some more color. But right now the matte varnish is drying, but you can see it's got kind of essentially a shell to it. It's not it's not plastic, but it's definitely harder, and once this matte dries on here, it'll give it that one more layer. So it's stiff enough to where you can drop it, you're not going to poke anything. But the other thing too is models aren't going to stick to it as much. So that way they'll still be playable and everything like that, but you can still get a model to it without everything sticking to it. So here's the ubiquitous spiky Chaos Space Marine, and if I was doing this before I'd done this, I would have touched this guy and he would have basically stuck to every little bit, and all I'm doing is knocking this thing over by pushing it on, and essentially it won't stick to it. So I'm hoping that basically my idea, if you will, has worked by making this a shell, and that in turn can then make it playable. The only other piece I then have to figure out is how am I going to make it essentially easily detachable or not. I was thinking about trying to put something on the bottom here, but essentially the way this is going to sit is essentially like this. So the back end really doesn't have anything supporting it. So what I was thinking of doing is going and getting some of the inexpensive sheet magnets that you can get for a laser jet printer, and putting a piece here and here, and then putting a matching, like either a piece of tin or something that I have. My wife has some real thin stuff that I can literally cut with scissors. Cut that out, take my goop glue, stick those underneath the bottom of the second floor, and then essentially all I need to do is have this cup and go click, and you've got a very cheap, easy way for this to connect, but also be really easy that you don't need to have to worry about placement or anything like that. You can get this on and off the piece really easy, so you can still make it playable, but have that extra little bit of character. I just, again, I want to have that piece of terrain that makes it look like it's an actual battlefield. I don't particularly care for, I shouldn't say that. I care for to have the look of something as compared to the playability. So if, a lot of times if I have to make a choice between if it's kind of 50-50, I like going for a little bit more detail, a little bit more realism. If it makes if you got to put your fingers a little bit farther in to get the model, okay, because I'm not too particularly worried about being that movement super precise, because that's just not the kind of style of gaming I'm in. The other upside though is when I use my hand as a gauge. If you see the size of my sausages here, I got a big hand, so if I can usually get my hand in there, most of the other average folks can get their hands in there pretty easily. So that kind of gives again a little cushion when you get a big old hand and a big old fist. It makes for a pretty good it's basically heck with, I can't come up with a word. Basically, so I can use that as my test for things. So if this thing fits, then should be good to go. So hopefully the next time you see this, I should have the magnets. I probably have to do a little bit of straightening with this to get it to level, or at least level enough than how I want it. And then at that point, it'll just be finish that mocking up on the model, and then just kind of detailing things. Right now, everything's just base coated black, and again, give that some detail, and it should be good to go. So again, hopefully by the time you see this, I should be able to get some of that sheet magnet, or I might just see if I can steal one of the little magnets from the refrigerator. Don't say anything to my wife. And cut those up, and then use that piece of, like I said, tin, and that should work. Talk to you guys later. Bye.